So, today I wanted to talk about... Oh wait, I got a comment recently. Someone told me to chill on Jinchi. Apparently she's been running 80 miles. She's tired. You know, I've been abusing her too much. So we're going to Yinlin for this video, right? Now Yinlin is the actual background character. So, I wanted to talk about the ecosystem in this game. Now, I'm not going to be talking about Echo XP because I already made a video on that. This is actually going to be a video praising Kuro for their ecosystem, right? Compared to these other gacha games. Again, I'm not hating on these gacha games. I'm simply comparing them and stating fact. I'm not trying to blatantly, like, hate and lie about these other gacha games to make them seem worse. I'm just straight up stating facts about them, okay? So please don't get mad at me if I mention Genshin or Honkai Star Rail or ZZZ or blah 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 blah, right? So this video is going to be about the ecosystem. Now, what exactly about the ecosystem in this game makes it so much better than these other games? Well, I'm here to tell you. Sets. Now, if you look at ZZZ, if you look at HSR, or you look at Genshin, they have like 20 plus different sets, and they're all so specific that they don't work that universally, right? Usually there's a set that's really good for like 1 or 2 characters, and that's it, right? Like, you have to constantly farm different sets for different characters, and it can be very frustrating and annoying at times, very tedious, right? But in this game, there aren't that many sets. There really aren't. 1 second. I was not prepared for this. Here we go. So there is an attack set and a healing set. There is an arrow set and a glacial set. There is then an electro set. So we're at 5 sets already, right? Then we have spectral set, 6 sets. And then we have a fusion set. So we have 7 sets total in this game. That is a third of games like ZZZ, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin. Like, that is an entire third in comparison. And the greatest part about it is that these sets are so much more universal than these other games as well, that you can dedicate a lot of time into one tacit field with one set, and it'll work on so many different characters. For example, let's say I farm the fusion set. Who can I use the fusion set on? Well, I can use it on my Mortefi. I can use it on my Chixia. I can use it on my Encore. I could use it on Chang Li even if I had her. Now, what about Havoc, right? Well, for Havoc, I could use Havoc Rover, one of the best DPSs in the game. I could use it on Havoc Dungeon, one of the best solo characters in the entire game, if not the best. Certainly the most fun for me, I'll say that for sure. Tao Chi also works on her. Now, what about Electro? Yadwu, Electro, Calcharo, Electro, Yinlin, Electro, Spectro. Now, for Verena, you do want the healing set usually, but what you can do is run her on Moonlit or what is it? Spectro damage if you really want to go all out and just don't care about healing, because you could put her on Moonlit and give your main DPS a significantly larger attack bonus. But this is simply better, right? Since she's like the only healer in the game right now. So this is like the sole exception. Like, this is the only person in the entire game who probably wants this. Maybe Baiji as well. I don't remember if Baiji's a healer or not. I'm sorry. But you also have Arrow, right? You have Arrow for Yang Yang. Is Baiji? No, Baiji's Glacial. But you have Arrow for Yang Yang and you have Arrow for Jian. So you have so many different sets. It's like 7 sets, right? It's not that much compared to HSR and Genshin. Yet they work for so many more characters, which is such a huge change that I don't think people realize how big it is enough. Like, this is saving us crazy time when it comes to farming for characters, right? Because even with the Echo XP issue in this game, you can overcome it from the overlap that there is in the improvement of every single other aspect of the ecosystem, right? For example, if you want to invest the time, you can pretty much always get the main stat you want on an Echo every single day, like guarantee it, even on 3 costs. You can run these guys into extinction every single day if you have the time, and you'll end up getting a shit ton of echoes, right? I'd say if you invest around 4 hours a day farming just straight up echoes, yes, that's a stupid copious amount of time, but if you really were that grindy, you could do that. I'd guess that you could probably get like 100 echoes in that time frame. And then even, let's say you're the most unlucky man on the entirety of on Earth, right? And every single one of those echoes is completely fucking useless. You can then go into the synthesis and get 20 new echoes, and one of them could also work for you, right? So there's so many improvements in terms of the ecosystem that Kuro made that it kind of overlaps the shitty Echo XP. Now, the Echo XP still is an issue. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. You can't max even one Echo using all of your wave plates in one day. Like, it's a very, very bad system. I'll just say it. It's simply not enough. Though I have heard they're still working on, like, in the future to test and see what they'll do with the wave plates. Honestly, I think they don't even need to technically change the XP values. They just need to change the wave plate values. Make tacit fields 40 wave plates instead of 60, and people just won't complain anymore. The issue with tacit fields is that unlike these other games like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin, that I think are 30 to 40 resin each domain, and this game it's 60. So it takes up a lot more, and you can only do it 4 times with 24 hours worth of wave plates. That's not very good. I'm just gonna say it. It's not very good. And outside of this though, this is why I think the rest of Kuro's ecosystem overlaps it. Because you have a third of the amount of sets. The sets are significantly more universal, and it's significantly easier to get echoes with the correct main stat that you want, right? You don't have any bullshit out of line stats like speed, break effect, energy and regeneration. Like, you don't have any of that bullshit, right? If they did, sure, I guess you could definitely complain about it more in Wuthering Waves. But I think with the way it is, it's actually very good, and you really just can't complain about it. It's a huge change in a good way to these games like Honkai Star Rail, Genshin, and ZZZ. ZZZ in specific is really bad because I remember one of the disk drives literally has like 8 to 9 different main stats. And, like, that is disgusting, man. Like 8 to 9 different main stats on one disk drive, and then you all on top of that you also have to get the right substats, and then on top of that you need to get the right rolls into said substats. So it becomes this thing where it could take you like weeks or months to just get that one disk drive that's actually good enough for your character. While in WoWa, I'd say at max it might take you a week if you're playing casually to finally get an echo that you're actively hunting, right? Which is a huge quality of life change. Another huge change that kind of plays into this ecosystem and making it significantly better is in games like ZZZ, Genshin, HSR, you have to input 2 teams of your characters. So basically, you cannot swap light cones to another team even if you wanted to, if your first team had better light cones. And you also can't swap relics between your first and second team. But the way Wuthering Waves does their endgame mode, Tower of Adversity, you only input one team at a time. And it allows you to switch your signature on one character to another character that could also take advantage of it. Same with the relics. And it's fucking huge, man. I do this with my Jinshi. You'll see right now. My Jinshi is using my Gion's Verdant Summit, because I don't have her signature weapon, but it doesn't matter because I can just give her my Gion signature. And then once I want to use my Gion on a floor of the tower, I switch him to his signature, and then I can use him as another DPS on another team. And it doesn't, nothing goes wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. It works perfectly in the endgame mode. And I really have to praise Kuro for this. Like, they knew what they were doing, And I mean, good fucking job. This makes the echo system and the echo grinding even easier, since you can just share echoes and share weapons with another team right after finishing on a different one. And I want more games to do this, right? Like, there needs to be more options in these gacha games for people who want to invest the time to grind to actually get some payout out of it, right? Because let's say in HSR, Genshin, ZZZ, once you spend your daily energy currency, whatever it is, resin, whatever the fuck they call it in Hawkeye Star, I always forget. But once you spend all of your energy, you literally can't do anything about relics anymore. Like, it's gone. If you got shit that day, you got shit. It's on to the next day, right? But in WUWA, you can minimize your RNG by farming a bunch of main costs. Like, especially the Ford costs. The Ford costs are the #1 example of this. These infinitely respawn. They have a 2-minute respawn timer. But the moment they respawn, you can just kill them again. And you can do it over and over and over again infinitely, right? They never run out. And even if you run a 3 cost into extinction, you can just go farm another 3 cost or another 1 cost for your set, right? Like, you can invest a shit ton of time into this game and actually get some payoff out of it. You can't do that in these other gacha games, which sucks, right? Now, personally, I'm not even taking advantage of this system. I feel like I'd get burnout if I invested that much time into the game constantly trying to get the right echo stats, because I simply care less about echo stats and more about my enjoyment of the game, right? But for many, it's a huge change, and having that option there is what really makes the difference, right? Giving the players a choice is always very nice. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I have a video going up soon about WUWA's skip dialogue option, which I'll actually put up. Actually, yeah, I'll probably upload that before this one, so you might have already seen it. But Kuro understands that giving players the option to do certain things is good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. And I love them for it, right? They're taking a different approach to, like, Genshin, ZZZ, or these other games that try to, like, stuff it down your throat and get you to understand the story and grow attached to characters or do this and blah 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 blah. Like, you can just get straight into the gameplay of this game and get a lot of it. Sorry, I felt like a hiccup was coming up. And get a lot out of it, right? There's a lot of payoff that comes out of it when you invest time into this game. You just go straight into the gameplay. But in Genshin and ZZZ, because the system is so much worse, they kind of just force it down your throat to go a lot slower. And I don't like it, right? I simply don't like it. Because WUWA is so much more complex and gives the players so much more choice, when I make content on this game, I never feel pressured, right? I never wake up thinking, oh, I've run out of content ideas, what do I do now? Like, there's always an option for me. If I wanted to, I could make videos on certain combos, combat mechanics, soloing these hologram bosses, because I have still yet to do most of the hologram bosses. There's so much content in this game that I could probably go on for months, even at my pace of posting 2 to 3 videos a day, which is fucking massive. Like, it's huge. But in Genshin or ZZZ or HSR, unless you're a new player, you really don't have that much content to go through, right? It's pretty much all story and not so much the gameplay. Like, the gameplay is right? But it's not a main part of why you play those games, right? It's mostly the characters. But for WUWA, I mainly play because of the gameplay and not the characters. It's the first gacha game where I genuinely put gameplay over everything else, and it does it very well. It has very good execution. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. A quick video on the ecosystem, why I believe it is easily the best of any gacha games gear system. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hope you all have a good day. Hope you all have a great night. And peace.